Yo, G Funky Boxing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Being joined tonight by some friends of ours, guys. Joseph Heron from Warwick Radio, and of course, Coach James Gogi. Let's give these guys a hand. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for inviting us, brother. I tell you what, guys, and once again, when I first found out that G Funky was doing a show and he invited me on, I said, you know what, man? You guys deserve some Coach Gogi tonight. So I slipped the invitation to Coach Gogi, and he was more than happy to oblige. And guys, we're in for a real treat. If you haven't heard Coach Gogi, he is a boxing genius, not only when it comes to the X's and O's, but everything regarding the business as well, management, promotion, everything, guys. So if you have any questions for the coach, please let him fly, guys.
Absolutely, guys. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna put this out there before we get cooking, all right? Because we're gonna be cooking tonight with the coach. My internet, for some reason, is just, I mean, it is an abomination tonight. So I'm not gonna highlight any comments, guys, but I will be reading them. I have it on my phone, so I can see you guys. I can see round one and Fotex. You guys are in the chat right now. I can see what you guys are saying there. I won't be highlighting nothing, man. I don't want to touch anything and ruin the stream, all right? So just keep making your comments, guys, and I'll read them. But real quickly, man, I want to get your guys' thoughts. Recently retired lineal and WBO super lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez. The WBO Paco comes out today and says that Lopez will retain his title, so he is officially unretired now. I want to get your guys' thoughts. Joe, you go first, and then we'll pass it to the coach.
Well, to be honest with you, man, you know how I feel about all of this, and I'm sure the coach, boy, he'll be able to give you an earful. Look, honestly, the way I am right now and the way I feel about our beloved boxing, I don't want the labor pains. I just want the damn baby. I don't want to hear any of this crap anymore. Just, you're either in the sport or you're out. You either make the fight happen or you don't. I'm tired of these guys going back and forth on social media. Oh, 75%. Oh, 25%. Oh, I want to fight. I don't care anymore. Sign on the dotted line or just stop wasting all of our time. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And, you know, what's funny is I see people on the internet are like, ha, 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 you guys thought he was really retired. Ha, ha. Like, no, nobody thought he was really retired. All right. He kind of told us what the hell was going on after he beat Josh Taylor with his court battle and with his divorce and everything. So it makes perfect sense to me. But Coach Gogi, give us your thoughts, man. You work with fighters. I'm sure you've dealt with stuff like this before with guys saying they're going to retire and then they come back. Let us know your thoughts, man.
That's bullshit. Harold Letterman, the guy, the unofficial scoring judge for HBO, used to tell me fighters never retire. Okay, when they say they retire, they never retire. Let me tell you, when he said that shit, I'm going to retire. I say, yeah, he'll when he gets to his senses, he'll figure out, hey, man, if I don't have that belt, I'm not going to make no money. I'm going to have to get a job. So, you know, I better hold that belt. You know what I mean? So it was it was just sometimes fighters, they say stuff at the spur of the moment without, emotion. Their emotions. They let their emotions take over, and they say stuff where, they don't look at the big picture. Like, if I don't have that belt, I'm not going to be making any money. And if I'm not making any money, hell, man, I might have to get a job. So that was all bullshit. That was just, I heard that many, many times before. But I never heard a fighter say that right after he, puts on a spectacular performance and beats the undisputed junior welterweight champion of the world. You know what I mean? That's that just tells me, man. But the sanctioning body president, Paco Vadasel, he didn't automatically strip him. You know what I mean? He said, I'm not gonna strip you. Think about it. Get your head right. And he made the right decision on letting Lopez, get his matters in order and everything.
Yeah, that's true, man. He sure did. And well, I'm sure he was well aware of what the hell was going on pretty much right away after he won that fight against Josh Taylor. But here I got something here I want to read to you guys.
I knew it.
Via Twitter. And the golden boy, all right? El Niño de Oro, Oscar de la Hoya. All right.
That's it.
As soon as the news came out, he tweets and says, just got the ball rolling for Ryan Garcia's return in the fall. 2 exciting championship fights available at 140. Here we go. Hashtag takeover has begun. Hashtag golden boy. Is he taking a subliminal shot or letting us or giving us a subliminal message at
Nothing
Teofimo by putting
subliminal.
the hashtag? Go ahead.
Nothing subliminal about this, brother. And I told Coach Ronnie this several weeks ago when, Oscar stated that he was trying to put together a couple of options for Ryan Garcia later this year. And I said, don't be shocked if he tries to put together Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan Garcia on his own. Now, keep in mind, if it is on Golden Boy and, Bob Arum and company, they are sick of Teofimo Lopez. They've had it with the problem child. Not the takeover anymore. He gets that distinction now from Jake Paul. He is the problem child at Top Rank and ESPN. He's like, you know what? If we have a chance to make 20% off of a huge pay-per-view like that by doing absolutely nothing but just giving our blessing, where do I sign? And it's the final fight on his contract. I told Ronnie this. He goes, you know what? That would be a great fight. And right now, while DAZN, they're currently feeling the pressure of trying to put together a blockbuster without Canelo Alvarez, this would be the perfect time to pull the trigger on it. And don't be shocked. I think this other tweet from Teofimo Lopez is a big smokescreen. Now, he tweeted this, quote, came out of retirement, I guess, because the next move was for Devin Haney to fight sorry-ass Arnold Barbosa for my WBO championship title at 140. F that. I'm tired of helping this kid be something that he's not, and that's a real champion. End quote. Yep. This has nothing to do with Devin Haney. Sorry, fans. This has everything to do with putting together a blockbuster on pay-per-view, DAZN, later this year against Ryan Garcia.
I think so too, man. I really do think so. And in the chat, we got DJ Mexicano de Tejas and the Shoe Shine Boxing. Guys, you guys weren't here at the beginning. I'm not going to be highlighting comments because I'm having some internet issues and I don't want to mess up the stream. But there's a question here for you, Coach. Shoe Shine here says, is James the coach with the gym in Mexico? Is that where you're coaching right now?
That's
Coach?
where I'm at in Leon, Mexico. We I have a gym here in Leon, Mexico, but when we go to camp, I go to Mexico City because it's a higher altitude, and they got a shitload of sparring up there, man. It's a city of what, 15 million, over 15 million. They got Mexico City is known, a tradition, a history for boxing. So they got a lot of gyms, they got a lot of fighters, a lot of pro fighters, and training there and sparring there in the altitude, man, gets you in tip-top tremendous shape. When you go in the fight, the number one thing you better be in is in tip-top condition, and training in that altitude in that gym with that tough sparring, boy, nothing gets you in better shape. You like I always say, people train at sea level. Oh, I went 12, 15 rounds sparring at sea level. Gives a fuck. That ain't shit. Come try doing that at high altitude in Mexico. Try doing that 15 rounds at the high altitude of Mexico. Totally different, baby. Okay, 1 round of sparring up in Mexico City is like going 3 rounds of sea level because your body's got to work 3 times harder because the air is so thin. It takes your body at least 6 to 8 weeks to get acclimated, where you're feeling good, you're breathing good. But your body, like I said, it's got to push itself to get stronger. Your lungs get stronger, your legs get stronger, your heart gets stronger, your muscles get stronger. So, just if you could go 8, 10, 12 rounds up in Mexico City, when you get to sea level, boy, you should be able to go 30. I've trained in high altitudes of Colorado Springs, Denver, Colorado, Big Bear Lake in the 90s at Larry Goose's boxing gym, where all the great fighters of that era trained. And that's a 6,700 square feet. I mean, 6,700 feet. But I found out the benefits when you train in that altitude. When you go back down to sea level, oh man, you're a monster. You know what I mean? You're
absolutely.
Your conditioning. Oh, it's unbelievable. That's why Leon, Mexico is at 6,000. But I like training in Mexico City because of the sparring and the higher altitude. Yeah. Excellent.
That's very true, man. And Shushan goes on to say that Leon, Guanajuato is where his grandmother is from. So hey, nice.
Oh,
man.
okay.
Yeah. And we got a super chat in Modern King Boxing. I want to say this. I appreciate it. So I'm gonna give you a hand. All right. $2 super chat. I can't highlight it, man. I'm having some internet issues. I don't want it to mess with the stream, but he says, "All righty, champ G Funky Boxing." Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, this looks like it's definitely going to be Teofimo versus Ryan Garcia later this year. Do you agree with that, Coach?
Man, that's a hot fight. You know, you're talking about Teofimo. He just, beat the undisputed junior welterweight champ of the world. Looked great doing it in front of a big TV audience. So he does have some exposure. And Ryan, he's coming off 1.2 million pay-per-view buy with Tank Davis. I always say a pay-per-view is not hot unless you have the right opponent in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's
and
it.
Yes, sir.
and Ryan will get his ass whooped. Worse. He can't fight, and he ain't got no balls. Okay, so.
I wish my internet was working better. I would show you. Fight Hype just put out a video of him training with Derek James, working the pads,
working the mitts.
Yeah, I saw that. You see how awkward he looks by the way Derek James is training him.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel comfortable. It's not natural for him. You know what I mean? Derek James has a certain style on the way. A guy like Earl Spence, it works good. A guy pressure fighter. A guy like Frank Martin. Who's good athletic. He could pick up to that. He has the athletic ability to pick up to that type of style. But Ryan, it's just he's not in rhythm. He's awkward. His footwork. His footwork ain't in tune. It's not smooth. You know what I mean? He just. Man, I don't know, man, if it's going to work out. Everybody goes to Derek James because, he had a lot of success, with a lot of good fighters lately. And that's what fighters usually do. They look for the, the trainer of the day. And, everybody, to be the savior. But sometimes it ain't about the trainer, man. You know what I mean? It's more about the fighter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what Emmanuel always used to say, right? It's not about the trainer, it's about the horses that he jockeys.
Yep. That's all.
That's it. Yep. Well,
I was Emmanuel right there.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. But you know what, James? I'll tell you what, Gogi. So yeah, you wouldn't even bother analyzing Ryan Garcia versus Teofimo Lopez, would you? You wouldn't even waste your time, would you?
Teofimo don't even have to train. He don't even have to spar. You know why, Joe?
Why? Let's hear it.
Because Ryan Garcia will be his sparring. All right.
Holy shit. Well, you know what it reminded me of watching that Fight Hype tape? Do you remember that scene on Rocky 3 where Apollo is now training, Rocky after Mick dies, and he's trying to actually improve his footwork, and he's moving him around the ring.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of. That's how it looked.
He looked clumsy doing it, Joe.
He looked like a big, uncoordinated stiff is what he looked
clumsy.
like.
Yeah, Joe, he just does, the way they were working pads, it's not like, it's not the type of rhythm Ryan, is used to. He's used to doing all that fancy, that internet, social media, fast combinations, the 40 punch combinations and all that shit. Now he's trying to learn this type of style. Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That's
look,
funny you
and
bring that.
It's obvious
funny,
that. Go ahead,
I was
sir.
gonna
I'm
say,
sorry.
Joe, it's funny that you bring up Rocky 3 in that scene. Like, remember when he was trying to get him to move on his toes? Like, he can't fight like
That's it.
fight like a colored fighter. He's got heavy feet, you know.
Why do you think they call him the Rock? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of. But look, it's obvious what they're working on, and it's obvious to you, Coach. Obviously, in his last fight, he's not an effective aggressor. He's a counterpuncher by trade. He likes to try and bait his opponents in. Yep, go ahead, sir. Keep going, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Joe. He's not a guy that he's not a pressure fighter coming forward. Okay, like he trains. What do you call it? Earl Spence. Yeah.
Yep.
If he could make him like if he could train him like Jermel, and fight on the outside, fight at range and distance, using his footwork, moving side to side, moving in circles, moving at angles, working off that jab. That's what he needs, Joe. He needs a consistent, educated jab along with his footwork. Okay, fundamentals he should have learned a long time ago. And here he is. Yep. Probably popularity wise, one of the more popular fighters in boxing. But guess what, Joe? His fundamentals are terrible. And Gervonta Davis said that right off. He said that right before they fought last time. But Gervonta, I knew that 4 or 5 years ago. He hasn't improved. He's still the same.
So could you say that Ryan Garcia is just a much more popular version of Edgar Berlanga at this point?
Ooh.
Because he really didn't learn anything at the 4, 6, and 8 round stages under the tutelage or under the guidance of Roberto Diaz and Eric Gomez. Now, did he?
They're the same. They both can't fight.
Yeah. Yep. And
when I mean fight, it's skills. Okay, they don't have the skills, and when you don't have the skills, you usually don't have the boxing IQ. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's very true, man.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Let me read out some comments here, and then we'll switch to the hot topic of the show, okay?
Boy.
Average someone here says, based off of Lopez's last fight and Garcia's last fight, it's going to be a bad night for Ryan. I think so, too. Yeah. Bad Dog H is here. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Fotex says, Ryan looks robotic and stiff, and Derek James only has one style. Yeah, I could agree with that. Modern King Boxing says Frank Martin's style is tailor-made for Keyshawn Davies, I believe.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's a little. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves there with that one, but I like the young kid, but I don't know if he's ready for that work yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Hey, that Frank Martin, I told Joe, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months ago, I said that's the guy to watch out of all those PBC 135 pounders because of his movement, southpaw, counterpunching, reflexes, athleticism. Yeah, he's a tough out for anybody. You know what I mean?
I like him.
Well, because he's not a big ticket seller. Yeah, because he's not a big ticket seller, he's going to be avoided like the plague, Gogi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's headlining this Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, I say pair him up with Edwin De Los Santos. I think that's an easy fight to make and a fight that both guys could definitely want, Fotex goes on to say, when Bud wins, Ryan is going to jump to trainer and go train with Bomac.
He probably will. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, but hey, based off what he's been doing, that might happen. Modern King Davis is mad fluent with skill wise, gives Martin the business. Let's see. Shoeshine says, anyone know if Frank Martin and Ryan have been sparring? I don't know what he's been doing in the gym, to be quite honest with you over there.
Hell no, dude.
Real stiff.
Hell no.
Mad Dog H says Ryan's is only there because of the free Wi-Fi, and the password is fried fish. Oh man. Taking some shots at Earl Spence,
Dang out, dude. I tell you what, though, man. You know what? All I can say is this. What is it now? 2 weeks away? Just about a little bit over 2 weeks away now. The fight. Mm-hmm. All I can say is this. Fight fans, diehards, you had better you had better not allow Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou to have more pay-per-view purchases than this super fight between Spence versus Crawford. If you allow that to happen, then immediately revoke your license as being for a card carrying, revoke your diehard boxing fan card. Revoke it now. Turn it in. Rip it up. Don't even follow the sport any longer. Yep. That's all I have to say about that. Because honestly, this is the fight that you guys have been asking for almost 5 years. And if you allow Fury versus Ngannou, a fight that no one cares about, no one's been asking for, no one wants to see it. And if it does a pile driver on Spence versus Crawford in terms of pay-per-view purchases, you guys should all be ashamed of yourselves.
That is a very true statement, Joe. You guys, you boxing fans, should have no fucking problem buying fights that you've been asking for, that you want. There should be no issue with that. Now, I understand that there's been a lot of bad pay-per-views over the last couple of years. A lot of them. I understand that. Fans get frustrated by, I don't want to buy this fight. This is bullshit. I get it, man. But these are the fights that you have to buy, right? Now, we already dropped the ball. You guys already dropped the ball with Benavidez versus Plant. That was a fight that we all been wanting for a couple of years. Nobody bought it.
And guess what? Look at the ripple effect of that. If Benavidez versus Plant, if you guys actually went out and purchased it rather than streaming it illegally, guess what? You'd probably be gearing up for Canelo versus Benavidez on September 30th.
Yep.
But no, you're getting Jermell. You're getting Jermell, a fight that you didn't want to see. You didn't ask for. That's what you're getting. And you know why? Because they think it's a better, more sellable story to the mainstream and casual market. That's why. They don't even think about you guys at this point.
Hey, Joe, what were the numbers on Benavidez, by the way?
Oh, gosh, it was barely over 100,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah, look.
Awful, man.
Haney versus Lomachenko did better.
Yep.
Really? What were the numbers?
About
like
120.
150 or something like that. Like that. Yeah.
No. It was about 130, 125 maybe.
Shit. Yeah.
Okay.
And a possibility it could have been because it was about $20 cheaper, I'd say. That
though, keep in mind this was only available on ESPN Plus, wasn't it?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, unfortunately, you couldn't buy it through your cable. But yeah, that's the problem with boxing fans. When you guys, I know we get a lot of shit fights. I understand. I'm right there with you. But when we get the fights like this one here, an important fight, Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, pound for pound fighters. Every single belt is on the line for you purists out there as well. I'm one of them. I love when the belts are on the line. Let's show this fight some love. Let's get it, man. Have a fight party. Do what you got to do, man. But let's show them.
Hey, G. Are they giving you a credential to this fight? That's why you're pumping it up?
I wish. No. He understands the ripple effect of this. And once again, everyone that I talk to, this is it. This is it. If you guys want your voices, if you want to be considered the real bosses of boxing any further, once again, because right now, they couldn't care less what you guys think.
Hey, by the way, Joe,
really, and that's the reality, guys.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Call up Kelly Swanson. She'll get him a credential. Is she still running the show over there?
Yeah,
Kelly?
She is. Yeah, she's
okay.
Yeah,
call old Kelly.
I would love to, man, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it out there. But I just really I'm tired of seeing the side shows, man, the freak shows that we're having.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Well, look, I can tell you this, guys. I can tell you this. Outside of Canelo Alvarez, they're always trying to devise ways of getting a greater mainstream and casual audience involved with these events.
Yeah.
They have no confidence that the diehard boxing fans are going to come through and purchase these things. Mm-hmm. After growing accustomed over the last several years of illegally streaming all of these for free. Yeah, they have no confidence that you guys are going to finally pull the trigger and elect to purchase one of these events. They're like, well, you know what? They've already grown accustomed to pirating all of these. Like, and the numbers, they're not even subscribing to Showtime any longer. They're not even subscribing to DAZN any longer. Yeah, you should. Oh my gosh. Subscription numbers in North America for DAZN are abysmal. I don't even think they're at 700,000 any longer.
Ooh.
DAZN has 700,000 subscribers?
Yeah, I think it's fallen beyond that. Like they eclipsed 1 million when they had that string of Canelo pay-per-views, right? Yeah. Now, ever since they jacked up the price, that tells you everything. That says it all, guys. Why would they feel the need to jack up the price and still charge you per pay-per-view if they were actually making money and had enough subscribers in America, in the American market, to sufficiently pay for all of their programming? Mm-hmm. It's because they don't. That's the only reason why anyone jacks up the price on any of these subscriptions, right? Look at Disney Plus. How much is that per month?
Jeez,
how much is the bundle? Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. How much is that per bundle? It's not $25. It's not $25 a month like DAZN is.
It's less, huh?
It's $12.99, I think.
It's $12.99 only.
Holy crap!
For all three.
Three. Holy shit!
Yep.
I got ESPN Plus. I might have to add the other two. Go ahead, Coach.
What is Hulu? What's it called? Hula?
What's it? No. It's Hulu. It's Hulu. It's like
it's like a Netflix type of thing.
It's like a Netflix type service. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Well,
you can get Joe. Can you get that stuff internationally, like in Mexico, or no?
I have no idea. I think it is available internationally, though. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I want to get the coach's thoughts real quick on this because he's been in the business a long time. He's actually been involved in fights being made and things like that. So, Coach, tell the fans out there that are listening live right now and the fans that are going to watch this once we go off and it goes archive on my channel, tell them the importance of purchasing the fight, ticket sales, and all these things, how important that is for the sport of boxing to thrive.
Well, if the NBA doesn't generate any revenue, you think them guys be getting them super max contracts, $250 million? It's all about business, generating ticket sales, pay-per-view sales, sponsorships, all this stuff, everything that's international rights and everything. In order for boxing to succeed, these pay-per-views need to succeed. And like you guys were saying, you guys made a good point. This is a hot fight, a fight people have been waiting for a long time. Now it's finally come into fruition. Now, hey, time, like you said, time to step up. But Joe, we're in a tough time in the economy where people's discretionary income is not as good like it used to be. Okay, because of inflation and everything, a lot of people can't afford this. So if they really want to see the fight, because of piracy, they could go that route, or they could get like 20 people, everybody chip in at a house, then they could watch the fight like that and everything. But with all these pay-per-views, it's a saturated market. Plus, with UFC and everything, they get more of the mainstream fans than boxing. It's a tough sell. Pay-per-views are a very, very tough sell. They only had 1 million. They only had one fight this year that did over 1 million pay-per-views, and that's Garcia Tank.
Yeah, and that was a mainstream event. That was a mainstream event too.
How about last year, Joe? Any fights that did over?
No, none, zero. None. I will say this, guys: if you cannot afford to purchase it on your own, go support the businesses who are showing it publicly. Every major metropolitan area has a Dave & Buster's. Go to effing Dave & Buster's. They only will charge you between $10 and $20 to go in and see Spence versus Crawford.
Hey, Joe, I was going to.
Businesses were actually showing it.
Joe, let's go back on the million pay-per-view buys.
Yes, sir.
Not including that Jake Paul shit, but real fighters that did over 1 million pay-per-view buys in, say, the last 3 years. That makes it. That tells you the health of the sport. Okay,
None.
Ryan Garcia, but last year none.
Yeah, just the Ryan and Tank fight.
Look, I can tell you this. The last real boxing fight that did over 1 million purchases was Canelo versus Golovkin 2. And that was on HBO.
And when was that? In 2018?
Yep.
Yep, that was 2018. So, guys, and this was the very first that Showtime's had since Mayweather Conor McGregor.
Yeah. It's just telling you boxing. Something's wrong with boxing. If it was hot, Joe, like UFC, they'd be consistently getting over 1 million buys, but it's not. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is UFC has a pay-per-view every damn month. And their fans have no problem supporting that because they really want the sport to thrive, man.
Well, and they have a much larger mainstream and casual demographic following their pastime.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So,
and I see, guys, I see.
I don't even
go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Here in the chat. I see Fotex in the chat. He's saying, "Gee, Funky, let's have a fight party. I'll drive to California. I'm down for a 15-hour drive." Hey, man, that's the best thing to do. I mean,
hey, Alf,
invite your friends over.
Alf, no, Nonito opponent didn't get dropped. What they did was they moved that fight. Congratulations to Donito Donaire. He's got the opportunity now to fight on Spence versus Crawford and become once again the oldest man to win a championship title at bantamweight 118.
Yep, let's give Nonito a hand for that. All right, guys. Yeah, they moved his fight. Now he's going to be on the undercard.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lupe Contreras. Good shit there, man. I love that.
Lupe Contreras, the ring announcer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was him. Did you hear him? Do it again, Joe. Do it again.
El gran campeón hecho en México. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
That is spot on, man. And really a nice guy too, man. Really a nice guy. I met him a few months back at a Showbox card here in Northern California. Nice gentleman there. But that impression is something.
I remember I remember the very first show he did. We were at the airport together. Then he goes, "You're in the boxing?" I said, "Yeah." Because we're going to the same fight. He goes, "I'm the ring announcer." I go, "Never seen you before." He goes, "No, it's my first fight." I said, "Oh, okay."
Shit. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
We're really. Yeah. That was back in 2000. I don't know, early 2000s. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Weird.
We got some new people in the chat. Mark Nash TV, appreciate you being here. Teach is in the chat. Hawker Mustang, Drummond for life. Hey, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while, but thanks for stopping by, man. We're just chopping it up here with Coach Gogi, man. This guy's been in the game for years, man. Go ahead.
Hey, brother, can I do an impromptu fact or fiction just because it's our first time on your program together?
Sure, go right ahead, man.
Here we go. Guys, fact or fiction. Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction. Here we go. Samson Lukowitz is absolutely correct when he says Jaron Boots Ennis would beat both Spence and Crawford, and neither one of them will fight him in the future. Fact or fiction, Coach?
Why would they want to fight him? It's a high risk fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, for what? I mean, if the money was super, there's got to be a lot of money in the pot for them guys. Them guys proving themselves. Okay, them guys been around. They've been in a lot of big fights. This kid hasn't even been in a big super fight or a lot of big fights like Crawford and Spence. When you get to that stage like Crawford and Spence, you're going to take the best, highest, the biggest money fights for the least risk possible. That's a high risk fight. Nobody knows that guy. And you know what I mean? The money you're going to want, I don't think is going to be in the pot for someone dangerous like that guy.
Well, let's just redo this then, Coach. Let's just do the first part then, right? Fact or fiction? Samson Lukowitz. Roy Monvilla's promoter states that Jaron Boots Ennis would indeed beat Spence and Crawford. Fact or fiction?
You know what? I couldn't argue with that. Yeah, this kid is just a once in a generational talent, man. A guy that has pretty much everything you look for in a fighter that comes around rarely. Okay. Last time I seen a talent like this was Roy Jones Jr. With, you know, Floyd and all them other fighters. Floyd, exceptionally gifted, talented, Shakir. They can't hit like this guy. This guy doesn't only have them elite level skills, reflexes, athleticism, but it has that explosive punching power. He can hurt you at any time during the fight. Ambidextrous, can fight in the pocket or at range from both stances. Tremendous reflexes. He doesn't take a lot of return fire from his opponents and everything. And you know, a guy with a multitude of dimensions he throws at you when you're fighting him. He offensively or defensively, you know, he mixes up his defense where, you know what I mean, where you can't get a real gauge of what he's gonna do. Because you know, Joe, if a guy has if a guy uses one type of defense, like a high guard defense, man, you could pretty much, you could pretty much predict what you want to do to the guy. Okay, you know, in training, you know, you train a guy and he comes with a high guard defense. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, you know, to penetrate the defense, because it's so basic. It's so one dimensional. But you got a guy like Boots, who changes up his defense, you know, footwork, moving in and out of range, moving in circles, you know, tremendous, reflexes, and upper body movement, you know, great agility to move his head and upper body at cat quick, like, where, you know what I mean? He sees the punches coming at you, then, you know, he has the ability to react and make you miss using good head and upper body movement. He changes up his defense. You know, he'll do that cross block, old school cross block. He'll do a little version of the shoulder roll, stuff like that. You know what I mean? He'll subtly make you miss by rolling with the punches, or just, you know, leaning back a little just to make you miss. He'll come at you with that high guard defense, and he'll change it up to like a shoulder roll type defense from the southpaw position. Then he switches back and forth and does the same thing, changing up his defense. When you got a fighter throwing all those defensive tactics at you, how the fuck are you gonna try to? How the fuck are you gonna get in the rhythm? Okay, offensively, because because if you got a guy like I said, Joe, who with a basic defense come right at you or hands up, fuck, you know what I mean? It's easier to exploit. But when you got a guy that switches up his defense from both stances, Jesus, you know what I mean?
So let me ask you then, Coach.
Hard to beat.
So let me ask you then, Coach, how do you prepare for someone like that in the gym, in camp?
You better have two guys. You better have right-handed. You better have right-handed sparring and left-handed sparring, and you know, try to get athletic fighters. You know, with good reflex, good hand speed, and basically, you know, switch them out. During the round, have the southpaw, you know, do his thing. Then a minute later, throw in a right-handed, to change the look and everything. So you get a comfort level seeing that back and forth look, the switching of the stances and everything. That's one way to do it. You know what I mean? And you know, you just don't get a right-handed sparring partner or left-handed sparring partner, okay? Because if you just get a right-handed sparring partner, guess what? When he goes southpaw, which he loves doing, you're going to be lost in a fight, baby. Or if you just get a southpaw sparring partner, you understand? If you get a southpaw sparring partner and he switches to righty, you're not prepared. You got to get both. And during the round, during sparring, you gotta switch them in and out, so your fighter, you know, is acclimated to the switching of the stances and everything. You're not going to get confused and everything. But good luck, man. It's a tough fighting. Crawford's going to be the same way for Spence. This guy has the ability to switch back and forth depending on how the fight's going. If he's at the left-handed position and he's totally in control, he's going to be at that left-handed position the whole fight. But if he feels Spence gaining any type of momentum, and the momentum is switching to Spence, well, he's going to switch it up to right-handed, okay, to stop that momentum, to stop Spence's time, to put a halt to Spence's timing and rhythm and getting into that flow, getting that momentum going. Nah, man, and Crawford knows when to do it. He knows when to switch back and forth to keep that, to stay one step ahead of you, okay, to keep that momentum on his side. Boots, he does the same. Boots, boy, Jesus, man, he'll be right-handed. All of a sudden, he'll be a southpaw. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't even see it in the fight. I see it in replays. I said, shit, he switched to southpaw. He'll be in a right-handed position on the outside. All of a sudden, he gets in the pocket. He switches it up to southpaw. Motherfucker, that throws you off, man. If you're not prepared, you're going to be getting hit with them left uppercuts to the body or them right hooks that you're not prepared for, or them uppercuts. That left uppercut, right hook he likes to throw. Oh, you know what I mean, Joe? The punches are coming from a different. The punches are coming from a The punches are coming from a different angle at the snap of a finger, and you gotta be able to react to that, man.
It's almost like fighting an octopus. You got a bunch of different arms coming at you.
Man, it's just all these what do you call it? All these multiple dimensions he throws at you, man. Fuck, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god.
Well,
hey, Joe, I'm sorry. Not only the multiple dimensions he throws at you and the tactics defensively and offensively, but the talent level he executes them at. Okay, his talent is such at a high elite level, he's able to execute all this stuff effectively. A guy with minimum talent can do all that shit. Okay, if he tries to do it, it would have minimal effect because he just doesn't have the talent to do it. But this guy has the explosiveness, the speed, the reflexes, the athleticism to do all this. Huh? Good luck, whoever fights.
Tough fight indeed, man. The only guy that's given him some issues thus far was his last opponent. The guy, and we all know this. We all understand this. When you're in there with a guy that's going to move and not give you much,
I'm just trying to survive.
Tough matchup, yeah.
They all make you look bad.
Yeah. I want to ask you this, Coach.
Go ahead.
Since you've been you trained so many fighters and you've fought yourself, and if you had Terrence Crawford, right? You're going in there, you're going up against a southpaw in Earl Spence. Do you keep it open stance, keep him orthodox, or do you stay southpaw? Well, or would you just kind of go with the flow? Like how would you approach the fight?
Shit, he knows what he's doing. He does everything off instinct. Okay, he knows what he's doing. He always makes the right choices in there. Okay, all right. You prepare for both, but when the fight starts, you don't know how. You know what I mean. You don't know. Yeah. Okay, you might prepare for a southpaw stance. You're going to start off with, but what if it doesn't go the way you want, and Spence starts getting the rhythm? Starts getting the momentum to his side. You switch it up. So it's all a natural feel. When you got a guy like Crawford who's been around, he'll know how to he'll know when to switch the stances to make it the most effective for him. So there ain't a real set way. Okay, he'll go out there. Okay, I'm gonna start off right-handed, see how it goes. But if he doesn't feel good, if he doesn't feel comfortable, if he doesn't feel he can get any type of momentum or get into timing and rhythm, he'll switch it back to he'll go back to southpaw. It's just like when he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa. He was getting hit a lot from when he was fighting at the right-handed position.
Yeah,
if you remember that, he was getting touched. He got hurt, but when he switched it to the southpaw, it changed everything around. It stopped Gamboa's momentum right in his track. Okay.
Yeah, it literally did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Changed the fight right as soon as he switched southpaw. Great stuff there, Coach. Yeah.
Because you know why he was able to. Gamboa was being extra. He was being overly aggressive, and Crawford was able to counter him with that check right hook. You know what I mean? Coming in, catching him when he was. See, the guy was rushing him, so Crawford was able to step back and counter him with a check right hook, catching him and hurting him, and that changed the fight right there when he switched to southpaw and everything. Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Joe. You wanted to say something?
No. I was just going to say, when you go back, well, now that we're on Terrence Crawford, can I do another fact or fiction?
Go ahead.
All right, here it goes. Fact or fiction, Coach. On July 29th, Terrence Crawford will indeed inflict the most damage in the later rounds, but will lose a very close, controversial decision to Errol Spence Jr. on the judges' scorecards in Vegas. Fact or fiction?
It's Vegas. It can happen. Okay? This is Vegas. All right? It can happen. Yeah. This is Vegas, man. Anything can happen, man. I mean, when you fight there, boy, you don't know what them judges are thinking. Okay? You're in the corner. You think you're winning the fight, but you're saying to yourself, this is Vegas, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know, Coach, what I think is going to happen, actually, and this is why I asked you this in terms of fact or fiction, I think it's going to play out eerily similar to Haney versus Lomachenko, with Terrence Crawford playing the role of Lomachenko on July 29th, and it's going to exploit once again flaws in the scoring system of boxing, where Spence is going to get a lot of the first half of the fight, a lot of the credit for some of those close competitive rounds where not much is happening. But then Terrence Crawford is just going to be too little too late when he starts inflicting real damage and scoring, winning rounds by a seemingly wider margin, but without a knockdown. It still counts the same 10-9 as an uneventful round. It's still scored exactly the same. In my opinion, I think that's exactly how it's going to turn out. And what are you going to hear again? Oh, it's a robbery, corruption. It's robbery. I can't stand it. And, you know, this is another thing that pisses me off about Teddy Atlas, brother. Here's a guy who says, you know, boxing needs a unified, a centralized government-run agency, you know, governing body over boxing. And, dude, he's talking about corruption in boxing when these UFC fighters get paid 13%, right? As a whole, on average, 13%. And he's crying about boxing? There's corruption in boxing? Kiss my ass, Teddy.
Yeah.
Ching out.
But that Teddy Atlas impression never gets old, man.
I don't think it.
I'm mad as hell, and we ain't going to take it anymore.
I don't think there's going to be a I think Crawford is one step ahead of Spence. I don't think it's going to be close like everybody thinks. I'm going by.
Let's hear it, Coach. Let's hear it. Woo!
He just man. You know, Spence he's a good. You know, he's an intelligent pressure fighter. He goes in and out of range. You know, when he's putting that pressure, works that jab good. You know, patient. He just doesn't walk in straight taking punches. But that's pretty much him. Okay, that's what he does best. Pretty much limited on what he does, but he does it very effectively. Crawford is more diverse, ambidextrous, highly skilled switch hitter. But what makes Crawford so effective? Why is he so effective in the ability to switch stances so good? His jab. His jab is effective from the right-handed position or the left-handed position with equal skill, equal high-level skill, okay? He's able to control you with that jab from either position. And I always say, I was told by an old-time trainer, you show me a guy with a good lead left hand or a good lead right hand, I'm going to show you a fighter that's tough to beat. And Crawford has that ability, to execute the number one weapon in boxing, the jab. Something basic, something simple, but it's the number one weapon in boxing for a reason. And has the ability to do it from the right-handed position or the left-handed position with high skill level. Now you see these motherfuckers nowadays. They try to switch up and this and that. When they switch to southpaw, they have no jab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't look natural the way it does with Crawford.
Exactly,
coach. And
now, it looks so fluid when Crawford does it. He does it like he doesn't miss a beat when he switches stances.
Yeah,
his skill level is the same, man.
And
Shit,
he's still very fast, still able to counter punch from the southpaw position. It's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare for his opponents.
What he could do from the left-handed position, he could do the same thing from the right-hand position. All right, you tell me that ain't a hard fighter to deal with. Shit, you know what I mean?
Yep,
yeah.
Very much, man. And one thing I noticed too, I'm going to drop a little bit of nuggets here since the coach too. All right, but the one thing that I think Crawford is going to definitely take advantage of from looking at Spence's last fight against Yordenis Ugas, he gets caught on that front foot a lot, man. And I noticed especially when he leads with power, he was loading up with left hands, and whether he connected or didn't, that back foot would come off the ground, and then he's in no man's land. And Ugas was able to take advantage of that a lot.
Well, guess what? One of Crawford's strengths is his ability to step back and counter with them left uppercuts or the left body shots. Yeah. Man.
Yep. I see that happening a lot, man. Joe, go ahead. Give us some thoughts, man.
Well, no, man. I already told you how I think it's going to play out. I think Spence. I stated that fact or fiction for a reason. I think Spence is going to get credit for a lot of early uneventful rounds just from sheer volume, and it's not going to be effective. But he's going to be the busier fighter. Once again, I hate using this term, but I'm going to use it anyway. Just like Lomachenko, it takes him some time to download the data. Look, and so in the back half of the fight, when he starts figuring it out, and he starts, touching up Errol Spence Jr., it's going to be too little too late without the advantage or without the benefit of a knockdown. Yeah, those rounds are going to be scored exactly the same. And one thing I think is going to happen after this fight, once you see that controversial ending, that controversial scorecard, right? With Spence winning, okay, mark my words, guys. 3 judges are going to have it exactly the same. 7-5 Spence all the way down.
Ooh,
okay?
Man.
And you're going to hear robbery from everybody. Okay, what's going to happen then before the rematch? They're going to give the Nevada judges, they're going to take them off that short leash. They're going to give them more liberal scoring privileges in which they'll be allowed to score more even rounds in uneventful rounds in which there isn't a clear winner. And then they're going to give them the allowance of scoring 10-8 rounds for in which it's a dominant round.
Joe, that's all speculation, man. You can't be saying all this stuff because the fans are going to start thinking like that. And you know what I mean? Like, why do I want to purchase it if it's going to come out like that? You know what I mean? You just got to let it.
I'm just telling you what I think. That's all.
Well, Joe, you just got to let fights. You got to let it play out and see what happens and everything. And another thing, they might not use Las Vegas referees. I mean, Las Vegas judges. You know what I mean?
No, they won't. They're going to use Steve Weisfeld. They're going to use Tim Cheatham.
Are they the judges? Is it confirmed?
No. It's not confirmed. It's not going to be confirmed until the week of. I'll find out.
Yeah.
But for big-time events over the last several years, it's been very consistent.
Weisfeld, Cheatham.
Yeah, they're not going to use Feldman any longer. They're not going to use Moretti either. They're going to use probably someone like Max DeLuca instead.
Well, that's good.
They use Max DeLuca from California, Tim Cheatham from Oklahoma, and then Steve Weisfeld from New Jersey. That's who they're going to use, guys. That's who they always use for all of these big events.
We got our good friend Larry in the chat says he sees that something controversial could happen as well. I mean, that could possibly sell a rematch too. Controversy, because we know there's going to be a rematch. We already know that.
Well, if the fight's close, okay, and there's a controversy, there will be a rematch. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And again, let's let's support the fight, man. It'll be massive. The rematch will be massive then, So
Look,
I can't wait for this fight, man. Go ahead, Joe.
Bottom line, man. If Crawford hurts this guy within 4 or 5 rounds, hurts him with a good shot, guess what? No. It'll be hard for him. He's gonna put that fear in Spence, okay? And he's gonna be able to take, he's gonna be able to start taking over, take control. Because that thing, when you get hurt in a fight, you're always got that fear. The opponent could hurt you at any time, and you become hesitant during the fight. You become hesitant in executing your game plan.
Let me ask you something, Coach. Because Terrence Crawford, he's cut from that same cloth. And one thing I've noticed that he, as well as Andre Ward, as well as Floyd Mayweather, as well as Shakur Stevenson, they will shut down a customarily high-volume powered offensive opponent. They will shut their offense down to a minimum. What do they do so effectively to shut their opponent's offense down so fervently?
Counterpunching, smother you, get inside, tie you up. That's what they usually do. You get, what happens? The fight transfers into the pocket. They usually smother you, tie you up. You know what I mean? Wait for the ref to break you. Then take it back on the outside. But counterpunch you good. You know what I mean? When you're trying to come in, stuff like that. Oh yeah, stay out of the corners, stay off the ropes, keep everything in the center of the ring. That prevents a pressure fighter from getting any rhythm or gaining any momentum. Because if you're stuck on the ropes, you're stuck on the corners, you're a punching bag. And a guy like Spence, boy, he's just going to start wailing on you because you can't move. You're a stationary target. But if you stay off the ropes like Charlo did in his second fight with Casano, and you stay out of the corners, you're not a stationary target. And the movement Crawford gives you, left to right, right to left. You know what I mean? A guy like Spence, he don't like his opponents being a mobile target, because a puncher, especially a very good body puncher, a very, very good inside fighter like Spence wants you to be stationary. He don't want you moving left to right, right to left, because he's not going to be able to get inside, set his feet, and go to work. Okay, but if you give that movement side to side, keep turning them too, Joe. Shakur Stevenson's good at that. He'll pivot around you. You know what I mean? Keep turning you, so you don't set your feet to get off on you. But if you just stay there like a punching bag, man, Spence is going to eat you up. Or you try to get in a firefight with Spence, go toe to toe, you can get your ass. That's advantage Spence. So you avoid all that. You avoid his strengths, which is staying off the ropes and keep everything in the center ring, so he doesn't make you a stationary target, and you don't go toe to toe with him. You don't battle toe to toe with him. You use intelligent boxing skills, intelligent footwork, side to side, moving in circles, moving in angles. Keep turning, Spence. Because Spence, if you notice, he's best when he sets his feet. When he sets his feet, because you're right in front of him. Yeah, but you can neutralize all that. If it does get in the pocket, don't get in the, just smother him, tie him up. Have Kenny Bayless as a referee. That'll help out Crawford a lot.
Let's hope not. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Oh man, yeah,
dude.
but
Kenny Bayless.
Guys, I hope you guys had your ears wide open listening to that. Coach Gogi is just a fountain of information, guys. He just dropped a ton on you.
I would be if I was Crawford, I would be. Hey, man, Kenny is our referee, man. Kenny Bayless.
Well, seeing that Spence is the A side here, and this is a PBC event on Showtime, that's highly unlikely, my friend.
Yeah. I try to sneak him in somehow, man. But but Kenny Bayless, oh yeah, man. He's what do you think he's Floyd's in-house referee. Every time Floyd fought the big pay-per-views, Kenny Bayless was always the referee. Am I right?
No. You're absolutely right. And the time he wasn't, it was a very controversial fight with the Ferguson Maidana fight. That was Tony Weeks.
Hey Joe, Floyd's going on his tour right now. Who's his ref?
Oh, that's Kenny Bayless. Yep.
Who was this ref when he fought Gotti or the exhibition with Gotti?
It was Kenny
That
Bayless.
was Kenny Bayless.
Yep. Okay then. Who Floyd had 3 days before the fight, Floyd always throws a party, for you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who always goes to the party?
Kenny Bayless. And he always looks
Exactly.
sharp. Yep. He always looks dapper. Yep.
Kenny B, yep. Yeah.
KB,
Anyway,
I love that. I love that, coach.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, man. Oh man. I mean, this is the little things, I know, man. If a fighter, like I'm fighting Mayweather, no. It ain't gonna be Kenny Bayless, man. If I had the power to do it, you know what I mean? But because I know that when the fight gets inside, he's not gonna let you fight out of there. Okay, you guys listening in. Okay, back in the days, fighters, when the fight transferred from range to in the pocket, guys like Mills Lane, old school refs, they would say, fight out of there. Fight out of there. You got to fight out of there. They will let you police yourselves. Okay. And if you got into an accidental clinch, what do you call it? They would let you police yourselves, untie yourselves, then let you go back to work and let you go back to work and throwing punches and everything. But if you were excessively holding, Mills, like if you're holding with your left hand, he would slap the shit out of your arm. Let him go.
That's right.
Let him go.
Yeah,
remember that? Yeah, he would slap the shit out of your shoulder. Hey, let him go. Let him go. And after you got slapped in the arms, you would release him, and he would let you fight out of there. That's what the old school referees did. They let you police themselves. Nowadays, these motherfucking refs, man, get this. They ref like amateur fights. As soon as you get in the pocket, they don't let you police yourselves and work. They just break, and they they split both fighters
too early. Yeah,
that's true, man.
And guess what, G? It ruins the ebb and flow of a good fight when that shit happens. Oh God,
exactly.
Yeah, but anyway,
exactly. That's what we saw with Benavidez Plant. That was awful. But I heard
who was
you
the ref?
mention Kenny Bayless. Yeah, again. But I heard you mention,
okay then. Okay.
Joe, the coach is, he is just right on time every time, man. I heard him mention Mills Lane from back in the day, and rest in peace to Mills Lane, one of the best referees to do it. I'm going to have his son, Terry Lane, manager of Julie Zhang, on tomorrow night to talk about, obviously, what they got planned, what they got going on, and what happened with the negotiations with Tyson Fury, all that good stuff, guys. Yeah. And, of course, we're going to ask him about his father. And I definitely want to know where he got "Let's Get It On" from, and I love Mills Lane back in the day. Man.
I mean, you know what? All I have to say is this, guys. All I have to say is this: where have you gone, Frank Cappuccino? That's all I have to say.
Oh yeah.
Steve Smoger was another good.
Steve Smoger, ching out, double S, yes. Also, Arthur McCanty Sr.
Yeah,
that was another guy who used to slap your hands away if you were excessively holding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Robert Byrd, he made you fight out of there, man.
Oh, Robert Byrd was one of the best. Yep.
Yeah. He made you
retired. Yep.
If you got in the pocket, he wouldn't say nothing. Hey, fight out of there. You know what I mean? Fight out of there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fighters that are pressure fighters love referees like Robert Byrd. Guys like Floyd Mayweather, they didn't like him. You never seen Robert Byrd referee his fight, have you?
No.
Well,
you know what, G? Can you ask him this, please? Can you ask him at the press conference? Can he say this again? I am the Big Bang. I come to bang everything. Can you ask him who actually told him that that's not really that's not really social etiquette for the media in attendance. Yeah, I come to bang everything. Holy shnikes!
I tell you what, Joe, if he's willing to take some phone calls, man, I would love for you to call in and ask yourself, man. But
brother,
that's up to him. That's up to him. I'll ask him that tomorrow.
Say, G, what is Terry? Terry's the manager of the guy?
Yeah, he's a manager of Julie Zhang.
I wonder how he got a hold of him, because last I heard Dino Duvu was involved with them. I guess I don't know what happened out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, well, look. I know that Zhang guy from the amateurs. What happened when he turned pro? Dino Duva got hooked up with all them Chinese fighters. And 2 of them he signed with Rock Nation when Dino Duva was milking Jay-Z over there. You know what I mean? And he got paid $1 million, I heard, delivering Zhang to Rock Nation. Nothing in return. It was a big joke. Nothing happened, and I guess when Rock Nation went out of the business, they released him. So I guess Terry must have took over G when Zhang when he left Rock Nation and Dino.
Oh, I'm sure the Lane brothers were plenty pissed, brother, when Joe Joyce activated that rematch clause, man.
Can you believe that? Over a WBO interim title, we want our belt back. Man, I know Terry was willing, he was ready to say,
I'll go home and get your fucking shine box.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, because look, you miss out on millions. You're losing millions of dollars, potentially fighting Tyson Fury in Wembley Stadium with huge pay-per-view proceeds in China, as well as the UK and as well as America. Now you're fighting a UK fight against Joe Joyce, a guy who you've already whooped his ass.
Where's the fight going to be at?
Be in London again, right? Or not London, but England.
I have no idea. That's something you have to ask him as well. I'm not sure. It's September 23rd, though. Coach Kogi, very quickly, do you see that rematch playing out any differently, sir?
Look, man, the way I called it, remember, Joe, when I analyzed the fight for our show, I thought it was playing out to the letter T. I told you Zhang would get tired as the fight went on, and he was, but I didn't expect Joe. I didn't expect Joe Joyce to swell up
like that. Yeah,
and that ruined everything for me. But that fight was playing out exactly like I thought. You know what I mean?
He was coming on. He was coming on in the 6th.
No, it's the fatigue of Zhang. He's not in top shape. He always fatigues after 3, 4, 5 rounds, and I thought that pressure of Joyce would eventually break him down, but I didn't think his eye would swell up the way it did in the fight. He had a terrible cut, man. His cut, man, couldn't keep that eye, from closing up, from swelling. He did, man. I watched the fight. He didn't even put no pressure on that eye with the inswar.
Nothing. Yeah,
he didn't put nothing, and that was a worst cut man. Worst job. See, you guys listening, a cut man's job is not only to stop cuts, of course, but it's to stop that swelling you're going to get in a fight around the eyes. If you keep getting hit by those punches, your eyes are eventually going to start swelling up. Them little bitty 8 or 10 ounce gloves, man, there ain't no joke. And if you keep getting hit with any type of punch, your eyes are eventually gonna swell up. But that's where a good cut man comes in and prevents that stuff from happening between rounds, applying ice and pressure on it, so the swelling is in control and you're able to see. But that cut man he had was just terrible, absolutely terrible.
Coach, I want to ask you something too, since we're talking about this fight. Now, Joe and I were on the phone earlier, and I threw this idea out at him for the rematch because Joyce is such a slow starter and has such horrible defense.
Oh,
in this rematch, would you just let Zhang go early and see if he could try to stop him, try to knock him out early? Because we all know if it goes late, he might gas out if he doesn't get him out of there early. Would you try something like that?
Larry Goosen told me this way back in the days when he had his training camp in Big Bear Lake. Larry Goosen is the brother of Dan Goosen, the late great Dan Goosen and Joe Goosen, both Hall of Famers. He had his training camp in Big Bear Lake where everybody trained. I told you guys, and he always told me, if you want to you want to make money as a heavyweight, you only need 3 things: being in tip-top shape, have a solid chin, and have the ability to punch. That's basically what Joyce has. He has all those 3. He's nothing spectacular. He doesn't have extremely exceptional athletic talent. He's just basic and ordinary, but he could punch. He's got a solid chin, and he's in good condition. Them 3 factors. Yeah, great condition. And look how far it made him. You know what I mean? He's slow as molasses, but he can hit. He's got a solid chin, and he's got great conditioning. And Zhang is not going to get, if Zhang tries to go out there and take him out, he's going to burn out after 2 rounds. And if Joyce, if he doesn't get cut or swelled up like the last fight, he'll stop him going into the 7th to 8th round. Yeah, because the guy doesn't get in condition to go 12 hard rounds, man. He's an 8-round fighter. I told Joe that before.
Yeah, he definitely faded in the Herkovich fight, and a fight again that he looked like he was clearly winning, and then it got close as the fight got late, man. So
what happened after the what happened after the 8th round? He pretty much was through. He was surviving. He was just on survival mode. Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man. And
that's what I said.
I can't wait to talk to Terry tomorrow about all the stuff that's going on, man. It's going to be great. And, of course, he's going to come. He's got a receipt for myself and my co-host, Dave Duenas, because we both picked Joyce to win. And he's like, you guys
hey, man, let him know.
You know?
Let him know that I won 5 Rock, man, off of Zhang. Nope.
Damn right.
I remember that.
Damn right. Damn right. I
won 5 Rock. Yep. I'm still in the black, too, to this day.
Yeah, one more topic I want to get on before we get out of here. I know it's getting late. I want to get the coach's thoughts on this, man. You talked a little bit about it yesterday. I did as well, Joe, but I want to get the coach's thoughts on this. All right.
Oh, boy.
Devin Haney. Devin Haney sends an offer, right, to Shakur Stevenson for an undisputed fight. He wants a purse split of 75-25 in his favor.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Coach Gogi?
That was the norm back in the days. If you were the number 1 contender and you had to fight the challenger, you had to fight the champion, 25% is what you got. And that's pretty much what they accepted back in the days. Now, they're, oh, no, I'm not going to take that. So, they're able to, what do you call it? Amend the rules. Okay. If both parties agree, but back in the days, man, whatever, that fight went to purse bid. This is okay. What are the WBC's rules state? 75-25 split. That's what you get. Okay. But if Haney don't want to do it, and he's the champion, you know what I mean? The WBC, if they got a good lawyer, hey, you go by the rules.
I think currently, and you can correct me on this, Joe, if I'm wrong, but I think currently it's a 70-30, right?
Yeah, 70-30. Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
and
giving
that's
him
what you
less.
got to go by.
Yeah, he's giving him less, saying that. And then he says this, well, I don't think Haney said this, but his fans are saying, well, I sacrificed when I went down and fought Kambosos. And then they even had the nerve to compare it to Floyd Mayweather sacrificing against Oscar De La Hoya. And I just okay. Oh, boy. Like,
well, like whoever has the belts calls the shots, okay? All right? Shakur ain't got a belt. All right, he's the number 1 contender.
Let me ask you something, Coach. Do you put any credence in these dickheads, man, going back and forth on social media, just espousing rubbish, throwing out, oh, this is the purse split I want to give you? Do you put any credence in any of that bullshit anyway?
That's gossip, man. There were people that are not in the business that don't understand this shit, and they're just fanboys giving their opinions. So what do? I ignored it, man. That's noise, Joe. I ain't got time for that crap, man. I don't even go on social media a lot. You know what I mean? Or reading that stuff. I just don't, man. You know what I mean? To me, it's a distraction. I got too many other positive things I want to do in my life than arguing with these clowns about what each fighter deserve. It doesn't matter. What's going to matter is the WBC. If they're going to let Shakur, be me personally, hell, man, Haney got a good lawyer. You go by the rules, man. And you send a letter. Hey, the rules state 70-30 split. That's it. We're not going to budge. Okay. So
if you had to guess, what would, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, G.
No, you go ahead, Joe. You go ahead.
So if you had to guess, Gogi, pull out your crystal ball. If you had to guess, if you were Haney's manager, if you were Bill Haney, would you go up to 140 or would you still try to kill yourself and take advantage of these 9:30 a.m. weigh-ins and remain at 135 as long as you possibly could? What do you think Devin Haney's going to do?
fuck, man. I mean, he's the longer they wait, the harder it is for him to make 135, even in them 9:30 p.m. weigh-ins. Okay, it's gonna be harder on his body, man. You know what I mean? Because hey Joe, he's a growing kid. Okay, you can't hold back Mother Nature. So the longer they wait, it's gonna be tougher for him to make that weight, even with them 9:30 weigh-ins and everything. So I mean, I got to do what's best for my son's health, and that's move up in weight, man. I just say, man, here, Shakir, you can have the fucking belt. Good luck on finding somebody where you're gonna make this kind of money I was offering you, bitch. You know what I mean? so
yeah, honestly, I think that's exactly what's gonna happen, brother. And I think Top Rank, by forcing the gauntlet, petitioning to the WBC to enforce this mandatory, right? I think that's exactly what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
So I think they're hoping to force Devin Haney's hand. He relinquishes the title, moves up, and then Shakur fights Lomachenko for the vacant WBC title. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think Bob Arum is hoping is going to happen. I don't think he wants to deal with Devin Haney ever again.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Because he's a non-ticket selling bitch who wants way too much money. Would you, if you're a promoter, would you want to deal with that?
Ah, man, especially Arum, golly. When you're like I told you, Joe, when you're in this long in the business, your tolerance for bullshit is very, very slim. You don't tolerate a lot of bullshit. Arum is in his golden years. He wants to enjoy the rest of his life, the rest of his career, and not putting up with this kind of agony and these headaches and everything, man. He ain't got time for that shit. You know what I mean?
And I don't even know if they broke even or not on that pay-per-view. I mean, Haney got what, $4 million or something like that for that fight.
He got almost $5 million. He got almost $5 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at almost an $8 million combined purse.
Oh
no, they lost money. They lost their ass.
On a fight that sold 150 pay-per-view buys at $60, not the 70 or 80, whatever the other ones are. And also, I looked earlier, I could not find any information on the gate, what it did. Dan Rafe only said it did a low seven figures, which I don't even know what that means, but it didn't do well. That's for sure.
Hey, they lost. I figured they lost a few million. Well, they didn't. ESPN did. They put up the money for the show. So, yeah.
Well, look, and once again, it was on pay-per-view out of necessity. Rather than taking a huge chunk out of their annual allotment, which is only $93 million for roughly 30 events the entire year, they said, well, look, we know we're going to lose this money, but we have to put this on pay-per-view out of necessity to recoup the huge dent it's putting in our annual allotment. That's the only reason why it was on pay-per-view, guys. And that's once again, I heard that from Bruce. So.
But hey, Haney's like De La Hoya, according to these fans.
Oh shit!
Man,
he couldn't sell out. He couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night, brother. Oh shit! Yogi fell off. I guess it's about time, huh?
Yeah. Hopefully, it's just a bad connection or something, man. He could pop back on. But yeah, it's always great talking with Coach Go. You guys in the chat, I see you guys leaving comments. I'm having some internet issues tonight, man, and I'm not going to highlight anything because I don't want it to mess up the live stream, man. But I do appreciate you guys being there. I see a lot of good comments coming in, so I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button for me, all right, if you haven't done that already. Joe, like you said, we should probably just wrap it up anyway. Shout out to the coach, man. That's his first time coming on the channel. Oh, man. Fountain of information, man. The guy is just great, and he's from my hometown. All right.
Yes,
he's
indeed.
Actually, he's back now. Let's get him back on real quick. Coach, you're back.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I got cut off. My phone was overheating, so I had to pretty much it just shut off and everything. So
yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap it up anyway, man. But real quickly, I was just telling the fans out there that are watching that, you've lived here in Sacramento for a while. Back in the day, you trained at the Washington Center with my uncle Hector Lopez. Oh, there he goes again.
We're gonna run into this from time to time. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got that. I don't even know what service he uses out in Mexico, brother. All I can say is, though, Coach, next time he goes far in Mexico City, please don't drink the water. Because last time he was deathly sick for almost a month, brother. He had a parasite in him or something.
Man.
Yeah, it was brutal. It wasn't. It was very serious actually.
Oh man.
But I will say this, HLD, brother, don't get your hopes up. Haney is not gonna fight Teofimo Lopez.
No, that ain't happening.
Yeah, not look. Bob Arum is not gonna deal with Devin Haney anytime soon. He already lost a ton of money off of him. Don't expect him to lose anymore.
Sorry about that. I'm back on.
No, it's all good, man. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Washington Center back in the day, man, and some of the things that went down, Coach.
Well, let me tell you, that was a gym where, that was a top gym in Sacramento. Back then, there was only what?
A couple. Washington
a couple
Center,
gyms.
Capitol Boxing Gym on Stockton Boulevard. Yeah.
And the PAL Gym. Yeah.
The PAL Gym in Oak Park. Yeah.
Yeah, but all the great, all the.
Oh, no. Again. Joe, you there? Did I lose you, Joe? Hopefully I didn't lose the stream. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Like I said, I'm having internet issues tonight, man. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Joe, are you there? Maybe he's having some internet issues too. But anyways, Coach is from. Thank you, Fotex. Appreciate that, man.
We lost Coach again.
Yeah, I dropped again.
Chingo. I guess that's about it, man.
Yeah, if you could just text him, say it's all good, man. We'll get him on again. Guys, how about this? Since we talked so much about Spence Crawford tonight and how important it is for you guys to purchase this event, okay? We got to have a successful pay-per-view with this, man. It just has to happen. And that's why I have in the thumbnail, guys, you see, you either buy this or you're going to get this, right? We're going to get more of these circus clown shows, these freak shows, whatever the hell you want to call it, if you guys don't support the fights that you want. We've wanted this fight for years. It's here. It's happening. So let's do the right thing, man. Let's buy it. Leave the Fire Stick unplugged July 29th,
yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Leave it unplugged, God damn it.
Dude, that's no exaggeration, guys. This is going to determine future programming for the next several years because this is costing Showtime $20 guaranteed or $20 million guaranteed. And that's just for one fight. For a combined, now once again, this is a guaranteed rematch unless someone retires. So you're looking at $40 million guaranteed for these two fights. Once again, there's a reason why Fox and ESPN stopped doing those big joint ventures after losing their ass with two fights between Fury versus Wilder. That's why that was the last you saw of those. Now, guys, if you want events like this to happen continuously for the next several years, you have to purchase these. You have to purchase these, guys. I'm not kidding. Because the way they think right now, they're consistently trying to devise ways of getting a greater mainstream and casual audience involved. So it's entirely up to you guys.
Yep. And Fotex in the chat says, my Fire Stick is getting an oil change on July 29th, and it won't be available that day. Hey, you, my friend, are what we need more of in the boxing community here, man. Support the fights.
I love Alf, man. I love me some Alf.
Classic 80s right there, man, all the way. But guys, I will do this. We'll wrap it up because Coach is having some issues here, and it's all good. He's been on for almost an hour and a half now, so we appreciate the coach's time and his knowledge that he dropped on us tonight. But I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to work on a film study for the big fight July 29th, undisputed at welterweight. Coach, he'll join us, and I like to have Joseph join us as well. We'll come on. I'll get some sequences together. We'll talk about it. We'll make our predictions. And then we will open up the phone lines for you guys to call in and give us your prediction on that fight as well, man. And again, let all your friends know, man, what's going to happen July 29th. And again, throw a fight party if you have to. Let's get this thing rolling, man. All right? Let's get it rolling. Joe, any parting shots for the chat tonight, man?
Well, I will say this, guys, and once again, it's always a pleasure, G-Funky. And guys, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I will say this, and yes, Treetop, yes, I've had plenty of sweet amber this evening. But I will say this, guys. Now, our goal for July 29th is to do better numbers than the following weekend's event on DAZN. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Come on, guys. We need you to come through. Do you realize how embarrassing that is for Boxing Diehard Nation?
Oh, man.
If we allow that shit show to actually get better numbers than our event. And now, once again, you guys have labeled this as, oh, this is the best welterweight fight since what?
Leonard
Hearns of this. This is the Leonard Hearns of this generation. Well, then come on, guys. It's time. You either put up or shut up forever. And that's how Steven Espinoza, that's how everyone is looking at this, guys. That's how everyone is looking at this. So if you guys don't want any more Jake Paul, if you guys don't want any more bullshit YouTuber events, if you guys don't want Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, then you have to purchase this. If you want to be considered, once again, the real bosses of boxing, you have to do it, guys. It's a moral imperative. And that's it.
Indeed, man. I couldn't agree anymore. Thank you for that, Joseph. Thank you to James, Coach James Gogi. And like I said, guys, we're going to get him on again. He is fantastic, man. I just love listening to him. This is my first time actually doing a show with him, and he came on my channel. Oh, man, I appreciate that so much, man.
And brother, isn't it so much fun you just to kick back and you just let him go?
Yep.
Isn't that amazing? Because, Coach,
is.
once again, guys, you're looking at 5 decades of knowledge in this business. 5 decades of knowledge in this business. Still going strong. And I asked him, you know what? If you hate the business so much, why do you still do it, Coach? Well, it keeps me young. It keeps me young. I'm in better shape than you are, Joe. Oh, and that he is.
Oh, we love the coach, man. And guys, I hope you again. I've been asked this often here. How do you know so much about boxing and breaking down fights and things like that? What you saw me do tonight when the coach was going off talking about how defenses and how guys do this and that, you realize I shut the fuck up and I just listened. That's all it took, man. When I spent time in the gyms as a teenager and as a young man in my early 20s, I listened to trainers talk and that's it. I closed my goddamn mouth and I listened to everything that they had to say, man. That's how I learned what I know about the sport today, man. All right, guys.
Here, here, brother. Here.
That's it, man. So, guys, we'll check you tomorrow night. Announcement tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We will have Terry Lane, manager of the Big Bang Zhang, coming on.
I come to bang everything.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of good stuff from him tomorrow night. So don't miss it, guys. Set the notification bell, all right? For Coach James Gogi and Joseph Heron, this is G Funky Boxing. We're out. We'll see you guys on the next